recording of this web conference has started. Today we're going to talk. Well, I'm going to share the screen. Margie, can you confirm if you are watching the screen, please? Okay, perfect. Well, today we're going to develop the second web conference of the course International Business Management. I don't remember that I had met you before, Margie. Today is the 24th of October. My name is Angela Piedad Suarez Torres. I belong to the Zona Centro Boyacá. My SEAT is Duitama, which is in Boyacá. I'm the course director. This is a small course. We only have 18 students. And that's why we just have the course director. I'm professional on international relations from the Universidad del Rosario in Bogota. I'm specialized on European studies from the same university. And I have a master's degree on international politics from the University of Newcastle in the United Kingdom. The class plan that we're going to develop today is going to be around the subject of competitive environment in the international business. So we already did the presentation. Now we're going to talk about what competitive environment means, the characteristics, the types of competitive environment examples, and at the end we're going to answer some questions that you may have around the subject that we're going to today. So first of all, what's the meaning of competitive environment? We're talking about international business, but when we talk about the competitive environment in international business, it refers to the dynamic system in which business operate and compete against one in another. It encompasses various external factors that influence a company's ability to compete effectively, such as market structure, number of competitors, and customer preference. The idea is that if we are immersed in international business, we have to be familiar with the concept of competitive environment and all the elements that are surrounded in this environment. And we're going to talk about the different elements that are going to have an influence on this environment, on this market that we're trying to get in or where we're developing our business in the international sphere. So we have to consider different factors. We have to analyze how our company is prepared to be competitive and to get a share of the market that we want to get in. We need to learn and to know a lot of about the market structure and the profile of the consumer and how are we going to get into the market. We have also to consider the number of competitors when we decide which product or service we're going to offer. We have to be clear about what's the type of competitors that we're going to have. If we're going to get into a market that we're going to have various different types of competitors, if we have many competitors in the same area or maybe with the same product or the same service, we need to learn about this because with this information we can decide which is going to be our element of differentiation to be competitive in the market. So it is very important to be familiar with this concept and to know how develop our business in a competitive sphere. This is very important. There are some key characteristics in this environment. The first one is the direct competitors, which are the companies offering the same products or services that we're offering. The easiest example is Pepsi versus Coca-Cola because it's a soda. It's dark, it's black. The flavor is very similar. So this is a direct competitor. If we're going to talk another, for example, when we talk about fruits or vegetables, of course, we're going to have direct competitors that come from other countries with the same product. So, for example, if we talk about bananas exported to Europe, we're going to have competitors such as Cote d'Ivoire, which is a country in Africa that produces the same type of bananas, also Ecuador from our region. So we have to learn about those direct competitors, which refer to those competitors that are offering the same product, the product with similar characteristics that is direct to compete with our product or service. It's valuable for both. The second characteristic is the indirect competitors, which are businesses providing substitute products. For example, pizza versus sandwiches. Both are fast food, but of course the characteristics are different. But they target the same customer base. So we need to, as I was saying in the first web conference, we need to be clear about which are the characteristics of our product and our service. How are we going to define it? What are the characteristics that we identify? And how are we going to identify those competitors that we're going to have in the market, in the international market where we want to be? So we have to be clear about which are our direct competitors and which are our indirect competitors, because we need to be clear about that and to know how the competition, how the competition is going to be in the market. So if it's going to be really hard to get a share of the market, or if in different cases maybe our product is so different, so unique that we don't have any competitors, or maybe we have indirect competitors but we don't have direct competitors. Well, now we're going to talk about the types of competitive environments. The types of competitive environments are four primary types of competitive environments that business may encounter. You may encounter the four of them, or one of them, or two of them, or three of them. So we have to learn about what types of those environments are going to be possible to find in those markets that we're going to get in or we want to get access to. The first type of competitive environment is the pure competition. The pure competition refers to many small firms offering identical products, making it possible for any single firm to influence market price. The easiest example is the agricultural markets. So, in the pure competition, first of all, are many small firms that are offering the same product. As I was saying with the bananas, it's different companies, sometimes, most of the times are small, selling bananas, the same bananas, but from different country to one market. Then that's the pure competition, because sometimes the differences between our product and the product from Ecuador and from Cote d'Ivoire are no different. So we don't have any characteristic to differentiate. Maybe if we go to a supermarket and we look at the different bananas, or maybe the bananas stand, and then you can go and look around and check if those are from Ecuador and those have a label from Cote d'Ivoire, or if those are have a label from Colombia. So the pure competition, it's more related with the agricultural market, because in this case the product is always going to be the same. For example, avocado, which is exported now from Chile, from Mexico, from Colombia to the United States and to Europe. So the difference between one avocado and the other is the origin. But at the end, the seeds are the same, the type of the avocado is the same, because in this case, the product is going to be offered in the same way to the market, because the market is looking for special characteristics in vegetables and fruits. So we're not going to add anything different from the other avocados or the other bananas. This is the pure competition. So it goes to special markets, like agricultural markets, where there is a few ways to differentiate our product from the others. Maybe if we have a special case where we're going to sell our product, but that's going to make it more expensive. So we have to look at those characteristics, and if it's important for us to make a differentiation, or if we just have the share of the market and we just have to offer our product and it's going to be sold. So this is the pure competition, the first type of the competitive environment. The second type is the monopolistic competition. The monopolistic competition is the numerous, it refers to numerous firms selling similar but differentiated products, allowing them to exert some control over pricing, which is the easiest example, restaurants. All the restaurants offer food, warm food, fast food, any food for the customers. So there is similarities in the product, but those products are differentiated. That's what I was saying about the agricultural market, which is different. It's difficult to differentiate bananas from Colombia from in those from Ecuador. In the restaurants, all the restaurants offer food, but each restaurant has special characteristics to offer their food. So maybe the ingredients, the origin of the ingredients, the flavors, some are more spicy, some others are more simple. Mm, the type of cuisine, some are Latin American cuisine, the other European, Chinese, Oriental. So that's the element that makes them different. But at the end, all of them offer the same product, which is food. Food maybe some are specialized on breakfast, the others, most of them, for lunch or dinner. So that makes the difference, but also how they offer the service and the product. The third type of competitive environment is oligopoly, which is a few large firms dominate the market, often leading to collusion on pricing and output. Which is the oligopoly? The best example is airline industry. So there are no many. So if we compare with restaurants are so many restaurants all over the world, so many different. Maybe if you live in a town, in a city, you have so many different restaurants. But if you go to airline industry, and then you go to look, for example, the Colombian airline market, so you're going to find just huge firms that offer the service. Which is the difference? Maybe they offer something different in the service. The destinations are different, and the pricing the prices. And for example, now with the luggage, some offering maybe more possibilities to have a small luggage or bigger luggage. So those are the small characteristics that are going to make them different from the others. But the competition at the end is about pricing and small details from one to another. Maybe some are very punctual. They all have a good responsibility with the customers. The quality of the service. Maybe they offer something to eat, some snacks. So those are the small things that make the difference in this case of the oligopoly in the airlines. Because if we look at the international market of airlines, well, we're not going to find a huge variety because we're going to find like in every country they have like one main airline company and the others are external or very small. So if we go to look, for example, Germany is Lufthansa. If we go to Spain, Spain is Iberia. If we go to France, is Air France. If we go to England, is British Airways. If we go to Colombia, we are going to find Avianca. But then we're going to find the small airline companies that cover the small trips, trajects, flights in the country. So maybe in Colombia, more than Avianca, we're going to find land, and then we're going to find the cheapest options, but we're not going to find so many companies, so many firms in this market. So that's the example of the oligopoly. And the last type of competitive environment is the monopoly. The monopoly refers to a single firm controls the entire market for a product or service with significant barriers to entry for one another competitor. Utility companies. So those, because from the name, the monopoly is just one single firm that controls the entire market for a product or service. We can see at Boeing. Boeing is the only one who builds the Boeing airplane. So it's just one company that builds this product and offers to the market. So has the monopoly, and it's very, very difficult to get into that part of the market and to compete with them. So monopoly is just when we find for one um, for one activity, just one company. In a national case, we can look at Ecopetrol. Ecopetrol is the national company, the oil national company, and is like the biggest one. The others might be the international ones, but it might be in Colombia like a monopoly because it's not easy to compete with Ecopetrol. It's not easy to build an oil company to explode oil in Colombia. Just that easy to be competing with Ecopetrol or the huge international firms that work in this business. So those are the four types of competitive environments, and we need to look at what type of environment are we getting into. It depends on the characteristics of our product, and and that's going to show us which are going to be our competitors and how are we going to be prepared to compete with them in the market. Continuing, we're going to look at the factors influencing this competitive environment. Which are those factors? There are several factors that shape the competitive landscape in which business operate. In this case, we're going to talk about four factors. The first one talks about the number of sellers, which means more sellers typically increase competition. If we find many people selling the same product, it's going to be difficult to compete with them, because now what we have to do is to look at um, the different competitors that we're going to have and which is the characteristic that each of them is going to have different from our product, or how our product is going to be different from the one that they are offering. If there are no big differences, then we're going to look just for the price. Um, and the marketing. How are we going to promote, to sell our product using marketing strategies? But first of all, the first factor that is going to influence this competitive environment is the number of sellers, the number of competitors that we're going to have in that share of the market. The second factor talks about the product features, which mean the differentiation that can lead to monopolistic competition. How different is going to be my product compared with the other competitors? How different is my product from if I'm selling children toys, which makes my product different from those from the competition? How am I going to sell them? How am I going to promote? How am I going to show the people that my product is different and has something else, something more to offer compared with the competition that I have? So that's why I always insist in how important is to know the product, to be sure that this cream that I'm going to sell is going to be different from those from the market. How am I going to differentiate? Which are the characteristics that my product has different compared with the competitors? If we go into the market, for example, if we talk about those hand creams, if we go to the market, you can find so many types of hand creams. The size of the presentation, there are a smaller one, bigger one. Maybe the package is going to be, some are stronger, some are easy to move and to use the cream. The seal is going to be easy to open or difficult, or maybe if you get into your handbag and it's going to open easily, and then you're going to have hand cream in your whole handbag. So those are special characteristics. If you need hand cream, you just go to a supermarket, to a drugstore, and then you're going to find so many options. But as a customer, you're going to find different elements that are going to influence your decision, your buying decision. So then you're going to look at, oh, look, this hand cream has cherry blossom, and wow, it smells delicious, and it's I don't know, it's pet friendly, is friendly with the environment, it's not being proof in animals. Well, stuff like that, things like that are make the product different in the market. So that's the reason why we need to know perfectly all the characteristics that our product has, and how are we going to show to the customer that my product is better, that my product is going to answer to the needs that they have, and it's going to be the best option to buy. So the product features, it's very, very important after we know how big or small is going to be our competition in the market that we're going to be. The third factor refers to the barriers to entry. When we talk about international business, we need to be clear and to learn a lot of things about international market, international commerce, and which are the characteristics and the requirements that we need to fill with our product to be exported, to be able to be exported to X any country in the world. Every country has different regulations, has different conditions to imports of products. So if we want to sell a product in the United States, for example, um, some food, something to eat, then we need to look at the regulation of the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, to see if all the ingredients that we're using in our product are accepted in the United States. First of all, then we're going to be sure about the labeling, the packaging, um, everything, all the single things in the product that are going to be asked by the FDA and the government of the United States if we want to export the product to the United States. Why? Because maybe in Colombia we just need a product with ingredients and the nutrition information. But maybe in the United States, that's not enough. They need to have special seals, special labels, special information. So we need to know all the entry requirements to the country to be sure that our product is filling all those elements, all those points to be able to get into the market. That's one situation that maybe we have the option to get into the market. We know really well how our product is, but then we don't feel all the requirements that they're asking to be exported the product. So that's one of the things that we need to learn, we need to request, we need to read about, we need to ask information about how the barriers uh, are going to affect my business, my project of business. So high barriers can limit new entrants and reduce competition. That's why we talk about the international free trade agreements. Some of the times those international free trade agreements look for options to open the market, but sometimes to close the market and to protect the national market. So it is very important to know a lot and all about the barriers to entry in every country. The requirements to get into the American market are going to be different from those from the European market, and those from the Oriental market, maybe from China, different from Korea, different from Australia, different from New Zealand. So we need to be sure that we're learning and we're looking for the special barriers of entry that that country has for our product, which are the characteristics, the requirements, and if we feel them or not. The fourth factor, the last one, is the price discovery, which means the interaction between supply and demand, determining prices in various environments. So when we know about the number of sellers, when we really know our product and the characteristics that our product has to be sold, when we fill all the requirements to entry into the new market, we need to learn about how is this interaction between sellers, supply and demand, and how the prices are determined in the different environments. So we need to know because to be competitive, of course, we don't look only for the quality. We must be sure about the capacity of buying to have a price suitable for the market. So those are the four elements, four factors that are very important and are going to influentiate the competitive environment where we're going to develop our business in the international market. If we look at the factors that may influence just the national market, the only one that is not going to be in the national market would be the barriers to entry because we don't have those barriers in our nation. But if we look at the other factors, of course, we need to look at the number of sellers, the product features, and the price discovery because every market is different. Even in our country, the market in the center of the country is going to move different from the market in the north coast, in the west coast, and in the south of the country. So we have to look at those elements, and the barriers to entry is something very special that differentiates the national market from the international market. So we have to look at the four factors to see if we have any place in that new market and if we have those elements that may make our product or service to be competitive in that new market. Well, now we're going to continue with the competitive strategies in international business. So, in the context of international business, companies must adopt specific strategies to navigate the complexities of global markets. We need to learn so many things about the global market, and of course, we need to design a strategy to get into the market that we want to get in. So the first strategy refers to the global network strategy. What's the meaning of that? The global network strategy focuses on building robust networks with suppliers and distributors across borders. So the global network strategy, as it says, it means we need to build a network between suppliers and distributors to get into that market. So it is important to build that type of network, a very robust network, because that makes us give us the like the space, the place, the opportunity to get known into the new market. There is one example from a Eastern company, which the name is Lee and Fong. In the textile industry, leverages global supply chains to enhance product development. So the idea in this case is that they establish a robust network uh, in the global supply chains to enhance the product development in other countries. So it is very important to build that type of networks, and the people which is more how could I say, that they have more experience about building those networks are the Eastern countries, which establish business from the trust in the people. So they need to build a network on trust with the other parties to be able to develop business between them. So to build this network, of course, gives strength to the company. And of course, it helps to be reliable in the international market. So it is very important for one of those strategies, the global network. It is very important to get known, to be known as reliable, to because the others are going to trust if you have that type of network. The second strategy talks about the global intermediary strategy, which is the positions companies as facilitators in cross-border transactions. There is an example, which is eBay, that simplifies international trade by connecting buyers and sellers globally. So what happens with eBay? eBay makes it easier because eBay is not the only one who moves the products. Yes. So, for example, if eBay works only in the European Union and I want to buy something from European Union, then it's going to be sometimes makes it very slow to get the product because the transport will take some time. But eBay, what makes eBay is to connect the buyer and the seller anywhere in the world, and is going to help to get access to more products and to get them in an easier way and faster. So that's really important for the companies to analyze which is going to be the strategy that best fits the type of company and product or service that they're going to offer in the international market. The third strategy is related to global entrepreneur strategy. which identifies untapped market opportunities across border. One example is the technology startups like Spotify adapt their service to meet diverse customers needs globally. So the idea in this case of global entrepreneur strategy for the international market is more is like well, we're going to find more examples talking about technology and services that can be offered all over the world and that are going to answer the needs of the customers related to one situation, and they can adapt the service to any place in the world. So for example, Spotify is a service, a music service that you will have anywhere in the world, and but has different characteristics depending on which part of the world you are. But the success of Spotify is that the service is going to be designed and has different characteristics depending on the market. And then it fits the needs on the needs of the market. So it's going to answer those needs. So they're going to find customers globally without any trouble. So those are the three strategies, the main strategies that we have to look around, to understand, to learn, and to to consider when we're thinking about establishing an international business any place in the world. Well, I have some examples about this competitive environment that we're talking today. The first one talks about Lenovo. Lenovo is the laptops and computers company, and Lenovo's acquisition of IBM's personal computer division exemplifies a successful globally competitive strategy. This move allowed Lenovo to access advanced technology and establish distribution channels, propelling into a leading position in the global market. This case is showing us how important it was for Lenovo, the acquisition of IBM. It was a strategic movement because IBM already had that recognition all over the world. And they were recognized because of the quality of the laptops and the technology developed by them. So Lenovo buys IBM's and already makes its label to have the support of the trust and reliability of IBM's customers. So that gives a plus to Lenovo having this strategy because IBM already had an image, uh, was successful in the business, but it had stopped. So Lenovo was like a renew IBM with the characteristics of IBM, and that makes help or help them to their way. Being just Lenovo would have been more difficult and would have taken more time for them to be known in the world and to get the sales that they already had. So this is one of the examples of this competitive environment because those are strategies, acquisitions are strategies that help the new companies to get stronger in as long in less time, uh, making those acquisitions of companies that already have a uh, a name in the market, a trust of the customers, and that makes them to get into the market not very easy, but of course it's a plus that help them to get known in the market. The second case talks about Cemex. We know Cemex, which in the case of Cemex expands internationally, illustrates how a company can expand internationally by acquiring cement plants worldwide and modernizing operations. Their global trading platform optimizes supply chains and enhances competitiveness. Cemex is a cement company known all over the world, and the idea for them is it's the other way. uh, they are already known in the whole world. So the strategy for them is to get into other countries and to buy cement plants, modernize the operations, but with the label of Cemex. So what is easier, and it's a good strategy, because what they do is they're not going to get like a new one into a new country, just looking where to find cement and explode the mineral to get cement. But what they do is they find the small firms, the small plants of cement, and they buy them, they modernize them, they put them more technology, they improve the efficiency, and then with the Cemex label, is going to be easier to get a place into the market. But they already have, they take the experience and the time of developing the business in the country, buying those other companies, small companies, and then just improving and make them more efficient. And of course, they already have a share of the market, but when they have the Cemex label, they're going to get a bigger share of the market. Those are important strategies developed by international companies in the international business area. Well, there are some other examples. For example, one of them is Airbnb. Airbnb has successfully adopted a global network strategy by creating a platform that connects hosts and travelers worldwide. Airbnb works, it's available all over the world. The company utilizes local partnership to enhance its offerings and ensure compliance with regional regulations. By promoting local experience while maintaining a consistent brand message globally, Airbnb has expanded its reach significantly in the international travel market. So Airbnb is really new in the market, but has a new proposal to the market, which is finding the places where to stay, the hosts, and creating a platform to get in touch with the travelers in a cheaper way. So you're not going to find like the huge resorts, but you're going to find a small houses, cozy houses, apartments, and places that are going to be cheaper, that the people is going to get some services. For example, if you're going to stay more than a week, then you can do laundry, and maybe you need a car park, and then maybe you have a small kitchen. So it gives more options compared with the resorts and hotels in general, because what they offer in general for the general people is just rooms with one or two beds, single or double beds, and then it's very restricted what you get into an accommodation in a hotel. But when you go to Airbnb, you can decide if it's going to be something small, something big, something for a small family, for a big group. If you want to have, for example, it depends on the destination, if you want to have a swimming pool, or if you want to be in the countryside, or if you want to be in the middle of a huge city, or if you're going to be near the cultural areas. So it's like a more options you're going to find looking for a place where to go, traveling for leisure or business, and with more utilities, and it's going to give you maybe more options, um, and you're going to enjoy more your travel, and you're going more to be more relaxed maybe. So this service, it's a global network that establishes a link between travelers and hosts all over the world. Well, another example is McDonald's. McDonald's, which employs a global network strategy through its extensive franchise model, which allows it to adapt menus based on local tastes while maintaining operations consistency. By collaborating with the local suppliers and understanding regional preferences, McDonald's has successfully integrated into various markets worldwide, offering unique items like in the McSpicy Pana in India or the Teriyaki Burger in Japan, which means McDonald's is a restaurant, international restaurant that it's known by offering or selling hamburgers. But it is not easy to offer the same hamburger in the same burger in the United States and then go with the same burger to Europe and then to India and to China or Japan because every culture has very huge differences between tastes, what the people like to eat. So it is very different from Japan, from China, compared with the United States and Europe and India. So, for example, in India, people don't eat meat. So how is possible that McDonald's get in India? Well, they have to adapt their product to the Indian diet and offer something spicy, but with no meat, but it continues being a sandwich or a burger. So those are the characteristics that makes them competitive in the market. They're not going to offer the same burger that they sell in the United States or in Europe, but they're going to offer something similar to the burger that they offer, but with the ingredients from the place where they're going to sell it. So that gives them the opportunity to get a share of the market and to be present all over the world. That's the success of McDonald's. In the case of Coca-Cola, exemplifies a successful global network strategy through its localized marketing campaigns while maintaining a consistent brand image. The company collaborates with local bottlers and distributors to tailor its products and marketing strategies to fit regional tastes and cultural nuances. This adaptability has allowed Coca-Cola to thrive in diverse markets across the globe. The idea with Coca-Cola is the same flavor all over the world, but respecting every place where they are and making the suppliers part of the process. And of course, the marketing must be adapted to the customers that we offer in our product. So the idea is not to change our product, just to it's just to keep the same image, to keep the same idea, but sometimes we're going to have to adapt our product to the market where we're going to offer it. So those are different cases how the products, the labels, the frames, the companies, they have to adapt to design special strategies to fit the environment where they want to be in. Well, that's the that's the that's what I have prepared for today. Well, I'll stop sharing to look at the. Ah, yes, Margie. Yeah, now now I can see the chat. Yes, of course. In the case of Movistar and Claro, they offer the same. They 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 offer the same service, and the competition goes to the quality of the service and the type of the service. Sometimes they are offering something more. They offer a discount if you get the whole the whole package. And some other companies, for example, DirecTV, they they don't compete exactly the same way because they offer some services from Movistar and Claro, but they don't offer all the products. So in the case of DirecTV, they offer just for example, television, and sometimes I don't know if they have internet. So they're not going to have that huge participation in the whole share of the market. Compared with Movistar and Claro, that they have like the same target, and they have to compete. And now with Movistar, Claro, and Tigo, they have to compete just from prices, quality of the service, the network, if it works, if you have access anywhere in the place you are. So yes, in this case, Movistar and Claro are competing in the same area. Pretty color and health records. Well, I don't understand what you mean by pretty color or health records. If you could explain yourself, I'm just reading what you're saying. If you have any question about what I have been saying, if you want to add something, is everything clear for you, Margie? Well, today's lecture was very specific on the competitive environment. Sometimes we have like the general idea, but we don't consider the special details that are very important. I always emphasize on how important it is for us to know the quality of our product, the characteristics of our product, and to be able to analyze how different or how similar is our product from those from the market where we're going to be. So it's one of the elements that we have to consider. And of course, the capabilities that our company or organization has to be able to consider the international business. There are so many things that we need to learn and to know about international business, but the idea is that we always need to be open to those requirements of the international market. We need to know a lot about the different cultures. We need to know about our product to consider the qualities of our product, and of course to know very well in this case the competition, to analyze our competitors, to analyze the products or service that are competing with us, for us to be able to compete in the market and to have a share of that market that we want to get into. So thank you very much, Margie, for being here. About the simulator, I'm going to send soon the invitation for the CPAS next week to explain a little bit more about the simulator. The truth is that first of all, I had to learn about how it works to create the activity, and well, that wasn't that quite easy for me. So finally I did it, but the idea is that just the next activity is going to be just for the simulator. So when we're finished this Saturday, on Sunday, you're going to be able to look at the guide and read about what we're going to do with the simulator. And of course, if you have any time, just get into the simulator, get access to the simulator, and start looking at the different elements of the company where you have to make the decisions. Don't take any decisions yet, and try to be in touch with your classmates of your group. So, because the idea is that you work all together. Okay. Thank you very much, Margie. I know that you're now working, but I appreciate that you had the time to pay attention to all the things that I was saying. I hope that everything was clear, that I speak clear. And of course, I'm going to save the recording and share it in the forum. If you have any question and then you have any time later, maybe another day, maybe you can, if you have questions, or if you want to talk to me about some of the subjects of the class, then we can meet, have a meeting, and then I can explain you anything that you need. Okay, because I need that maybe I give you information, you're busy, you have no time or no option to talk and to share your ideas. But if you want, just let me know through Teams, and we can meet for a while, for a couple of minutes, and talk about what you need. Okay. Thank you very much, Margie, and have a good night. And we'll see you soon. Okay. Good night. Thank you very much. I stopped the reading and we finish our second web conference here.